here from That Irish Schoolhouse. Welcome to my channel. I was editing a video and I realised that it actually kind of worked better as two different videos. So the first part is linked down below, and this is the second part, which kind of goes more into a bit more honesty about the struggles that we have in homeschool and how important having a support system is, and even just well, you'll see. I do kind of ramble a bit, so if you don't want that, then sorry, this is not a video for you. Anyway, if you want to check out the how to withdraw your child who is already in school and a little bit more concise, check the link below, and here is the video. So it does look a little bit choppy because I did kind of splice it right down the middle, but watch the first part down below, and this is the second part. Bye. So give written documentation to your current school. Physically withdraw your child. Again, that could be, you can, when you give your written documentation, you can say, I'm giving 2 weeks notice or a week's notice or whatever. Or you can do it just a day's notice or a weekend or that day. It's your choice. Written documentation. How many fingers? Written documentation. Withdraw your child. Contact Grania. Fill in the form and send it back. And those are your legal requirements as a parent when your child is already in school. Now comes the fun part. My opinion. When it comes to writing a letter, basically I would go with what I kind of talked about earlier, just a nice polite letter. We didn't have bad experience at all with our school, and so we actually sent in some chocolates or something. We didn't give notice because we were a little bit all over the place. Our situation was we decided that homeschooling was a better option. We were going to give it, I think, a month or until the midterm break. We decided actually, after about a week, we decided, no, we would like to take him out after the weekend. So literally, I think maybe on the Thursday, we made the decision. On the Friday, our child was sent in with chocolates and the letter. And a very, just a general thank you letter for all that the teachers had done, because they genuinely had done a lot for our child. I know that's not the situation for everyone, but the teachers in our situation were really great, really fantastic. Then when it comes, so the documentation, withdrawing, we didn't give notice. Contacting Tusla. He was 5 when we took him out, so we didn't have to legally register him yet. I did contact Tusla straight away, and she sent out the application form, and I did have time to read through the guidelines, which really helped when I was applying for it. When we ended up applying for it, he turned 6 in October. If your child is over 6 and you're taking them off the register in order to put them on the homeschooling register, I would say probably get it done as soon as possible, within a few weeks, to just be reasonable and say, you know, I'm getting the ball rolling. We were a little bit late in applying for him. I think we were right, it was mid-November, so about 6 weeks after his actual birthday, that we did send back the paperwork. There was just a lot going on, and you know, my husband changed his job. I was just back from America. We were a little bit behind in the homeschooling, and I was trying to keep up. There was multiple birthdays. And just everything was just getting too much. And so trying to sit down and do forms was just difficult. So got them filled in, sent them away. I personally was pretty vague in the way that I answered them, simply for the reason that last year, November time, we chose a particular curriculum, and in February, we changed that curriculum. And this is November that we were sending in the, that I was sending in the application. So I didn't want to be writing down, yes, we're going to keep records. Yes, we're going to do this particular curriculum. We're doing X, Y, and Z. If by the time the assessor came, I'd actually changed my mind and thought something else was different. Something else was better. So I just didn't want to put that pressure on myself. So I answered the questions, but I just didn't put down absolutely everything. I just think it's better for when they come, we can have that conversation. Personal preference, after you do all that legal stuff, personal preference is whether you want to do deschooling, whether you want to do a curriculum, whether you want to just take a year out, depending on your situation, how you want to approach the homeschooling task. So when you have done all that is legally required, and again, you do need the permission of both parents. So mom and dad both need to be on board. I think that's also a really wise thing. Not only is it a legal requirement when you're applying for it, it is also a wise thing because, guys, I'm going to be real. Homeschooling is hard. This is my second year. And I have 3 little ones right now, so I'm only actually schooling the older 2, and we're doing kind of numbers and shapes and singing with the little one as well. But it is a lot of effort, and mommy does not get any time off, and especially my husband has gone to a 6-day week, and it is tough. It is really tough. But it's the kind of tough that having a child is anyway. It's like, you don't really want to tell everyone the difficulties of birth and the sleepless nights, and you can't find a babysitter, or you want to go out on a date and your child gets sick, and I mean, you want to be pretty heartless to go out anyway. So, but the disappointment that you feel when you can't spend time with your husband, you don't talk about those things really when you're a parent, because you don't want to show people the negative sides or what can be perceived as the negative sides of parenting, because unless you are a parent, you don't understand the joy that comes from having those kids. Even physical pain during birth is all gone in a matter of seconds when you see your little baby and you get to hold them. And so, similarly, I would also put the homeschooling journey. It is hard. There are downsides. It can sometimes feel really lonely and isolating, just as I'm sure being a teacher can be lonely and isolating when you're surrounded by kids the whole day, and you don't have that adult conversation and you're doing things that are very repetitive. But there is such a joy in teaching your own children. There is such a joy in knowing that your children get that one-on-one time. And not only do they get that one-on-one time, which people pay hundreds and hundreds for, but they are getting it from you, and you are giving them consistent behavioral correction. In terms of speech and language, you're giving them great consistency with regards to speech and language. Pronunciation, how to do something. For example, my eldest child who is in school, when I help him with his homework, because I do like to help him with his homework, there is a part of maths that I can't help him because when I learned long division, it was taught in a particular way. Now they have flipped the sign of the long division, and I have no idea how they're doing it now. So I can't actually help him because he was taught a certain way, and so I can't teach him a different way. So that's just one example. There are other things that I can help him with because it's not as particular. You have to do certain stages in. But yeah, so the math is a little bit trickier because I know how to do it, but they're teaching it a different way. So that was a little bit of ramble. I don't even know where I'm going with this, but yes, support. So it is very important to have support. My husband is the driving force behind our homeschool, and I know that that's not the case with everyone, and I am totally blessed to have that, because when there are days when I'm thinking, I can't do this, he is the one behind me saying, yes, you can. and saying, you know, how about I take on more readers? How about you give me this to do? Is there something I can help you with? Or why don't you get it done in the morning instead of the afternoon? Or there was a time when I was really struggling last year in terms of trying to figure out dynamics. The dynamics really changed. I went from morning, then my son was having 2 naps, and then he went to 1 nap, and then it was difficult to do it in the morning, to doing it in the afternoon, and it worked for a time in the afternoon. But then as the closer it got to Christmas, the more things kind of got bunched on top, and afternoon was hectic and tough, and so it kind of went out the window, and he was the one saying, come on, Carol, you need to get this done. The most important thing is the homeschool. So, you know, sometimes you do need that motivation, like, you know, like you need to get homeschool done, or you can't go out and get the groceries, and I know I need to get the groceries, so I really need to get the homeschool done. So yeah, having that support, having that person on board who fully understands is really helpful. Not saying necessarily that they have to be as on board as my husband is. I think he is 1 in a million. But just to say that, you know, both being on the same page and knowing that it's the right decision is really helpful. When it comes to discussing it and making that decision, like I said, you don't need to have anyone's permission aside from, of course, the support of your partner or your the mom, and both parents need to be on board. We made the decision not to tell anyone of our decision until after we had done it. It's kind of like a baby name. Again, I know I'm using these crazy references, but when you have a little bit of a crazy baby name and you're still pregnant, there's a lot of people feel like it's okay to say certain things. Whereas if the baby comes out and it's already named that, then you would find it very, not very many people will make those comments that they would have probably felt freer to say before you had made the decision. And the same with homeschooling. A lot of people don't understand it. A lot of people don't know that it's an option, have not seen a great success rate, or are not familiar with the fact that you can go to college after homeschooling, that you are actually getting an education when you're homeschooled. And so it can be quite daunting for people, and you don't necessarily always want to explain yourself. So we, again, made the decision not to tell anyone until we had taken our child out. And again, because I had the support of my husband, I was supporting him on the decision. He was supporting me on the decision when it came to our families, whether they were supportive or not. Mostly it was, you know, good responses that we got. But even if they were going to be not supportive, it didn't make a difference anyway. And so we have mostly gotten actually very positive responses. And even if people wouldn't really do that themselves, they've kind of been like, you know, you're the parents, go for it type thing. So I think I have rambled enough. There is a lot of unnecessary content in this video that I probably won't even upload with it. But anyway, I hope it's been helpful to any parents who are in a situation where they just don't know what to do, whether they either can't see how their child is ever going to last one more day in school, or whether they're just thinking, you know, this isn't working and I think homeschool is for me, but I don't know how to take the first step forward because my child is already in school. And am I doing a disservice to my child? Well, that's another video. No, you're not, is the short answer. But how to take that first step when my child is already in school. I hope this has helped. Comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and let me know if your experiences, whether you have taken your child out or whether you're thinking about taking your child out. My email is down below as well, and I'd love to hear from you. Bye.